Chapter 11. Let us now in this chapter describe the manifested or Saguna Brahman Sai, how Baba was worshipped and how he controlled the elements. Sai as Saguna Brahman. There are two aspects of God or Brahman. The first, the unmanifested Nirguna, and the second, the manifested Saguna. The Nirguna is formless, while the Saguna is with form, though both denote the same Brahman. Some prefer to worship the former and some the latter. As stated in the Gita, Chapter 12, the worship of the latter is easy and preferable. As a man has got a form with body, senses, and mind, it is natural and easy for him to worship the God with form. Our love and devotion do not develop unless we worship Saguna Brahman for a certain period of time. And as we advance, it leads us to the worship or meditation of Nirguna Brahman. So let us start with Saguna worship. Image, altar, fire, light, sun, and water. Brahman are the 7 objects of worship, but Sadguru is better than all these. Let us on this occasion bring to our mind the form of Sai, who was and is non-attachment incarnate, and who was and is a resting place for his wholehearted devotees. Our faith in his words is the seat of asan, and our sankalpa, determination to start and finish the puja, is the abandonment of all our desires. Some say that Sai was and is a Bhagavad Bhakta, a devotee of the Lord. Others say he was and is a Maha Bhagwat, a great devotee. But to us, Baba is God incarnate. He was and is extremely forgiving, never irritable, straight, soft, tolerant, and content beyond comparison, despite any appearances. Though Baba looked embodied as having the form, he was really disembodied, without emotion, unattached, and internally free. The Ganges, on its way to the sea, cools and refreshes the creatures affected with heat, gives life to the crops and trees, and quenches the thirst of many. Similarly, saints like Sai, while they live their own life, give solace and comfort to all. Lord Krishna has said that the saint is my soul, my living image. I am he, or he is my pure form or being. This indescribable Shakti or power of God, known as Sat Chit Ananda, pure existence, knowledge, and bliss, incarnated in the form of Sai and Shirdi. The Shruti, the Upanishad, describes Brahman as bliss. This we read or hear daily in books, but the devout people experience this Brahman or bliss in Shirdi. Baba, the support of all, required no prop or support from anybody. He always used a piece of sackcloth for his seat, which was covered with a small, beautiful bed by his bhaktas, and had a bolster placed by them as a rest for Baba's back. Baba respected the feelings of his devotees and allowed them to worship him as they liked. Some waved fans before him, others played musical instruments, while some others washed his hands and feet or applied scent, and some gave betel nut with leaves and other things, and some other things. Though Baba looked like living in Shirdi, he was present everywhere. This all-pervasiveness of Baba was daily experienced by his devotees. our humble prostration to this all-pervasive Sadguru. Dr. Pandit's worship. One Dr. Pandit, a friend of Tacha Sahib Nokar, once came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan. After saluting Baba, he stayed in the masjid for some time. Baba then asked him to go to Dadabat Kelkar. He went to Dadabat, but whom he was well received. Then Dadabat left his house for puja, and Dr. Pandit accompanied him. Dadabat worshipped Baba. Nobody until then dared to apply sandal paste to Baba's forehead. Only Masapati used to apply it to his throat. But this simple-hearted devote, Dr. Pandit, took Dadabat's dish containing puja materials and, taking sandal paste out of it, drew 3 horizontal lines on Baba's forehead. To the surprise of all, Baba kept silent without uttering a single word. Then Dadabat that evening asked Baba, "How is it that you object to the sandal paste being applied by others to your forehead, but you allow Dr. Pandit to do so now?" Baba replied that Dr. Pandit believed him to be the same as his guru, who was Raghunath Maharaj, and he applied the paste to his forehead as he was doing to his guru. Hence, Baba could not object. On inquiry, Dr. Pandit told Dadabat that he took Baba as his guru, and hence he marked him on Baba's forehead as he did on his guru's. Though Baba allowed the devotees to worship him as they pleased, still sometimes Baba acted in a strange way. Sometimes Baba threw away the puja dish and was wrath incarnate. Then who could approach him? Sometimes he scolded the devotees at times, and looked out softer than wax at others, a statue of peace and forgiveness. Though Baba seemed to shake with anger, and his eyes red rolled round and round, still Baba was internally a stream of affection and motherly love. Immediately, Baba called out his devotees and said that he ever angry with his devotees, that if mothers kick their children and if the sea turned back the rivers, he would neglect the devotees' welfare. That Baba, the slave of his devotees, always stood by them and responded to them whenever they called upon him, and that Baba always longed for their love. Haji Siddiq Falki. There was no knowing when Baba would accept a devotee. That depended on his sweet will. Siddiq Falki's story is to the point. One Mohammedan gentleman by the name of Siddiq Falki, after making a pilgrimage to Mecca, came to Shirdi. He lived in a chavadi facing north and sat in the open courtyard of the masjid. For 9 months, Baba ignored him and did not allow him to step into the masjid. Falki felt much disconsolate and did not know what to do. Somebody advised him not to be disappointed, but to try to approach Baba through Madhava Rao Deshpande, a close and intimate devotee of Baba. He told him that as they approached the god Shiva through his servant and devotee Nandi, so Baba should be approached through Deshpande. Falki liked the idea, implored Deshpande to intercede for him. Deshpande agreed, and on a convenient occasion spoke to Baba about him thus: "Baba, why don't you allow the old Haji to step into the masjid? While so many persons freely come and go after taking your darshan, why not bless him once?" Baba replied to Deshpande, calling him his other name, Shama, You are too young to understand things. If the Fakur, Allah, does not allow, what can I do? Without His grace, who will climb into the masjid? Well, go to him and ask him whether he will come to the narrow footpath near the Barvi well. Shama went and returned with an affirmative answer. Again Baba said to Shama, ask him whether he is willing to pay me the sum of 40,000 rupees in 4 installments. Shama went and returned with the answer that he was willing to pay even that. Again Baba said to Shama, we are going to butcher a goat in the masjid, so ask him whether he would like to have mutton of the goat. Shama returned with the answer that the Haji would be happy to receive a small crumb from Baba's mud pot. Hearing this, Baba got excited and with his hands threw away the earthen jars and straightway advanced to the Haji and lifting his kafni up with his hands said, why do you brag and fancy yourself great and pose yourself as an old Haji? Do you read the Quran like this? You are proud of your pilgrimage to Mecca, but you do not know me. Being thus scolded, the Haji was confounded. Baba then went back to the masjid, purchased a few baskets of mangoes and sent them to the Haji. Then again Baba went to the Haji and taking out 55 rupees from his pocket, gave them in the Haji's hand. Thenceforth Baba loved the Haji, invited him for meals, and the Haji thereafter came into the masjid whenever he liked. Baba gave him at times some rupees, and thus the Haji was enlisted in Baba's Durbar. Baba's control over the elements. We shall close this chapter after describing 2 incidents showing Baba's control over the elements. The first, once at evening time there was a terrible storm at Shirdi. The sky was overcast with thick black clouds. The winds began to blow forcibly. The clouds roared and the lightning began to flash, and the rains began to descend in torrents. In a short time the whole place was flooded with water. All the creatures, birds and beasts and men got terribly frightened, and they all flocked to the masjid for shelter. There are many local deities in Shirdi, but none of them came to their help. So they all prayed to Baba, their God, who was fond of their devotion, to intercede and quell the storm. Baba was much moved. He came out and, standing at the edge of the masjid, addressed the storm in a loud and thunderous voice, "Stop! Stop your fury and the calm." In a few minutes the rain subsided, the wind ceased to blow, and the storm came to a stop. And the moon rose in the sky, and the people then went back home well pleased. The second. On another occasion at noon, the fire in the Duni, the sacred fire, began to burn brightly. Its flames were seen to be reaching the rafters above. The people who were sitting in the masjid did not know what to do. They dared not to ask Baba to pour water or to do anything to quench the flames. But Baba soon came to realize what was happening. He took up his satka, or short stick, and dashed it against a pillar in front, saying, "Get down, be calm." At each stroke of the satka, or stick, the flames began to lower and slow down, and in a few minutes the Duni became calm and normal. This is our Sai, an incarnation of God. He will bless any man who will prostrate and surrender himself to him. Baba, who will read the stories of this chapter daily with faith and devotion, will soon be free from all calamities. I should say, he who will read the story of this chapter daily with faith and devotion will soon be free from all calamities. Not only this, but always attached and devoted to Sai, he will get very soon God vision. All his desires will be fulfilled, and being ultimately desireless, he will attain the supreme. Amen. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.